Hello everyone, welcome back to Node.js Master Playlist. In this video, we are going to install the Node.js in our system. So installing Node.js is a very fast and easy process. To install the Node.js, we just have to go to the official website of Node.js, that is nodejs.org. And for installing the Node.js in the system, there are two options. First one is the LTS and second one will be the current. LTS means it is a long-term support, and as a beginner and even for production application, I recommend to install the LTS version because it is fast, stable, and widely used. And download the installer according to your operating system. As I am on Windows, so I have downloaded according to that operating system. For the Windows, you just have to click on the Windows installer, and for the Mac OS, you just have to change the operating system and you have to install this one. And for the Linux, you have to install this one. So if you face any issue in installing Node.js in your system, you can see the official documentation or instruction provided by the Node.js website. And if you have installed successfully Node.js in your system, so then you can verify and check that the Node.js is installed or not on your system uh, on the command prompt. So we have to go to the command prompt and we have to just write some commands on the command prompt so that we can be able to see that if Node.js is installed or not in our system. So the command for checking the Node.js is installed or not. So you just have to write node space hyphen v. So hyphen v basically it is for the version so that after hitting this command we will get a version of installed Node.js. So I'm entering enter. Okay, so now we can see that here we get the version of the Node.js that we have installed in our system. So my version is v24.11.1. So this is the installed version that I have installed earlier. So this is not the latest version. So I have installed earlier in my system. So as long you install the Node.js in your system, npm is also installed along with Node.js. So you can check the version of npm also. So for that you have to write the command. So I hope you have successfully installed Node.js in your system. So let's say we have to get a sum of two numbers. So getting a sum of two numbers is a very short program of a JavaScript. So for creating or to getting the result of two numbers, we do not have to create a very large JavaScript file, or we do not have to create a very large project of JavaScript. So we can execute that code in the command prompt only, and that code will be executed in the command prompt easily with the help of REPL. So REPL means read, evaluate, print, and then loop. So this is the REPL, and basically a REPL will help us to execute that code. And Node.js gives us this REPL to execute a very small piece of code of JavaScript without getting into the any code editor IDE. So let's say how we can do that. For doing or for using the REPL, we have to write node in the command prompt, and when I write the node and when I press enter, you can see the welcome message here, and you can see the welcome message is coming with the version that we have installed of Node.js. So let's say I have to get a sum of two numbers. I'm writing 10 plus 10 plus 10. So you can see REPL is reading that REPL is reading this 10 plus 10, and it is showing us 20. When I hit the enter, so you can see 20 is printed over here, and this is happening because of the REPL. Let's say I have to create a variable where a equals, and let's say now you can easily see that we are getting the value of 10 plus 10, and the value of 10 plus 10 is 20. Okay, let's zoom it a little bit so that you can clearly see what we are doing here. Okay, I think now it is visible to you all. Okay, let's say if we want to create a variable inside the command prompt, then how we are going to create a variable. For that, we have to use where keyword, and then we have to name it, and we just have to store a value of. Okay, now I have created a where. You can easily see this is the variable that I've created, and when I'm going to press enter, you can see undefined is printed over here. Undefined is telling the variable that you are the variable and your memory is located. Okay. When I'm going to get the value of a, undefined will be replaced by that value. So this how REPL is doing its work, and REPL is reading, and REPL is evaluating, and REPL is printing, and REPL is again looping over the Node.js because Node.js gives us the REPL. Okay, let's say if we want to print the value of where. Okay, so you can easily see REPL is reading the value. Okay, so when I'm going to press enter, Kapil is printed over the screen. Okay, so this is how we can create variables inside command prompt using the JavaScript as. Okay, and what if we want to create a function inside the command prompt? Can we create that? Because we are inside in the node environment, and REPL helps us to execute our program. So let's say I'm going to create function sum of okay, sum of two numbers, and let's say number A and number B here. Okay, and I have to return this A plus B here. Okay, so I have created a function which will return us the sum of two numbers. Okay, let me enter. So undefined is printed over the screen again. Okay, so if we want to get the value of function, and that will return the sum of two numbers, for that we have to write inside the console because we are returning it console.log sum of two numbers, and here we have to write the argument here, not the argument, yes, the argument 1 and 2 here. Okay, so this how we can print the sum of two number. Okay, let's see what we will go. Here we are getting 3. Okay, so this how we can create the function of a two number inside the command prompt. Now we have learned that how we can execute the JavaScript code or Node.js code inside the command prompt. Now we can see that how we can execute the code inside the browser. So let's jump into the browser, and we have to go to the inspect tool, and let me clear this console, and let's create a variable inside the browser where a equals 10 here. Now it is undefined. It is undefined because it is stored inside the global scope, and we have created a variable, and for this variable this is the placeholder, and when we have to get the value of a, so this is the actual value and this is just the placeholder here, and when we are getting the value of a, so this will be replaced with the actual value, and the actual value will be stored in the undefined, and undefined will have the value of 10 here. So this how JavaScript works inside the browser. Now, and we can also create a string here where str equals js. Now we can see there is a string, and it is also coming as a undefined. f, and if we are going to get the value of string here, so we can see that string value is coming here. So this is how JavaScript works inside the browser. And inside the browser, we have a this keyword. This keyword means this is the global object we have. This is the global object here, and it has all the methods that we can use to create anything inside the using the JavaScript. And this, if I'm going to write this triple equal to window, so this is true here. And there are other also uh, keywords uh, which is similar or which is equal to this. So like I have self, so it is also equal to this. And if I'm going to write this triple equal to self, it is also true. I have also the top, it is similar, and I have also the parent, it is also this, and I have one global this. So this works inside the server as well and inside on the browser as well. And if I'm going to write this triple equal to global this, so this is true here. And for the browser, we have a this or a window. If I'm going to write the window, it is returning as a window object, okay? And this is the global object. And now let's see that how we can write the code inside JavaScript file, because we do not have to write the code like this I have written. Okay, and we have to create a file for that so that we can execute inside the Node environment, which is given by us the Google's V8 engine. And because we cannot create this type of code to create a project or to create any repository, so we need a file structure, complete folder structure for that. So for that, we have to create a file. And now I'm going to the VS Code, and here I have to create a file. I'm naming it app.js, and .js it is a extension name here. Okay, now let's create a variable inside the VS Code, and hello Node.js here. So I have created a variable inside the VS Code. VS Code basically it is a IDE. It is a code editor IDE, and we can write our code inside this IDE. And I have created a variable, and I am going to console this variable to print inside the terminal console.log a. Okay. Now you can see that this is the variable created inside the file. So this is the file and this is the code here. And for running or to execute the file, we have to write the node space app.js, the file name. Node space file name. This how we can execute the JavaScript file. And when I'm going to press enter, now you can clearly see hello Node.js is printed over the terminal. So this how we can create a file, and we can create a variable inside that file. And if I'm going to create a function, multiply, and I'm giving the parameter here, and it will just return a into b here. So this is the function I have created, and Now I'm going to print the value of multiply 3 into 3, which will return us a 9 here. Okay, node, and you can also use the arrow keyword so that you do not have to write again the file name, and you just have to use the up arrow key to use the file name and to execute the JS code. Now we can clearly see we are getting the result of a multiply. So you must be thinking that how JavaScript code is executing. So behind the scene, Node.js is just a runtime environment to execute the JavaScript code. It is not running the JavaScript code. Basically, it has a Google V8 engine which helps to execute the JavaScript code, and this JavaScript code goes to the CPU, and CPU does not understand the text, so CPU converts uh, this code into binary format, and as you know that computers only understand the binary code, and this how JavaScript codes execute uh, inside the CPU, and CPU will return us the result, and then Google's weight engine takes the result, and Node.js just execute, and Node.js just helps to execute that code because it is just a runtime environment to execute the JavaScript code. So this is how JavaScript code is executed inside the Node.js environment. As you seen that we have this as a global object for the browser, but for the Node.js we have a global as a global object. In the Node.js, global is the global object. Okay, and let's print that as a global object inside the Node.js. Let's see what it contains. And if I'm going to print, you can clearly see we have many methods inside this. This is the global, and we have clear immediate, set immediate, and clear intervals, clear timeout, clear set timeout, and set interval, set timeout. Okay, so these are the functions, or these are the methods that globals contains, and we can use these inside the Node.js. And you can clearly see that this for the browser and global for the Node.js, and both of them behave differently because they have different kind of environment, and they execute inside in different kind of environment. Okay, if I'm going to print console.log global people equal to this, what are you thinking that what will be the output of this line? So global is for the Node.js and this for the browser. So both of them behave differently. So both of them are not equal. And you can see this. This is the global. This works for the browser as well as the Node.js. So this is the latest this concept here, and this will be work inside the browser as well. And now let's see that how we can check that global triple equal to global this, and if I'm going to execute this, you can clearly see this that global equals to global this, and this works for the Node.js as well. So this how this concept works, or the global object or the global this works inside the Node.js environment and inside the browser environment. And global this works for both. Okay.